Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Surbs. Today's video is super exciting because I am teaming up with Gulaafi. Gulaafi is a one-stop shop online platform that carries beauty and wellness products for both men and women. You can order products via their Instagram page and they will be launching their website soon as well. Today I'll be showing you how to create a classic brown matte smoky eye as well as a really flawless base using all products from the brand LA Girl Cosmetics. Gulaafi carries their entire product range, so you can buy all the products I'll be showcasing today directly from them. I will be listing all the product names and prices in the description bar below. LA Girl is a drugstore brand, but the quality of their makeup is really high, so I'm so excited to show you guys how to achieve this full beat glam on a budget. I'm starting off with my eyebrows using the brow pomade in shade dark brown. This was the perfect color for me because it was a cool tone brown, but it wasn't too ashy either. I was actually really surprised by how incredibly creamy and pigmented it was. This does, however, mean that you have to go light-handed when applying the product. You can pick up a small amount on your brush and then swipe off any excess on the cap of the pomade, as I have done here, or you can also work off the back of your hand. You want to take tiny amounts of product and build it as you go for the best results. As you can see, I start off by outlining my brows, following my natural shape and slightly elongating it at the tail. Then I start to fill in my brows, leaving the very front bare at first. Once I get to the front of my brow, I make tiny hair-like strokes to avoid having block-shaped brows. I do like making the front of my brows slightly lighter than the rest of my brow, and that gives me a really pretty faded effect. To clean up and perfect my brows, I'm using the Pro Concealer in shade Creamy Beige. I use a flat brush to pick up a small amount of product and I drag it as close to under my brows as possible. This step makes a huge difference, and if you made any mistakes prior, you can correct it with this technique. The consistency of this concealer is actually perfect for this step because if it's too runny of a concealer, it tends to bleed back into your brows, and that kind of defeats the purpose of cleaning them up. I'm also going to be using this concealer to prime my eyelids for eyeshadow. Doing this will create a blank canvas and make eyeshadow colors stand out later. If you don't set down your eye primer, your eyeshadow may catch onto the wet concealer later, resulting in a patchy application. So I'm going to use the Pro Face Powder to set down that concealer so I get a seamless blend later. To create my classic matte brown smoky eye today, I'm going to be using the Nudist palette from the Fantastic Eyeshadow Palette range. This is the perfect palette for those of you starting out with eye makeup because it has all the shades that you would need to create both an everyday look as well as a smokier nighttime look. There isn't a single shade in this palette that isn't wearable, and I like how there is a balance of matte shadows and shimmer shades as well. Then there's also a balance of warm and cool toned eyeshadows, which is kind of rare. I've largely been disappointed with drugstore eyeshadows in the past, so I was really happy and low-key surprised to just see how pigmented and blended the matte shadows in this palette are. I have used the shimmer shades off camera for other looks as well, and I found that the shimmers were more of a sheen than a glittery eyeshadow, but I think it's fine. It just depends on what you want. Something else that I wanted to point out is that this palette comes with quite a large sized mirror, and the mirror is actually pretty high quality, which is awesome because I feel like in drugstore palettes they either don't have a mirror or when they do, they're just not the best quality, so that was another pleasant surprise. So the technique for this look is actually really easy, as you guys can see. I'm just going in with matte shades and I'm going kind of from lightest to darkest, and I'm working my way from my crease all the way down to my lid. This technique is going to give you a really pretty gradient effect. I wanted to create a look that was wearable both for the daytime and the nighttime, so that's why I didn't go too heavy-handed with the darker shades, but you can totally amp this look up to make it more nighttime appropriate. The Shockwave eyeliner is so good, you guys. As you can see, it's just so creamy, it's so pigmented, and it really lasts throughout the day and doesn't smudge or wear off. For mascara, I'm using the Bombastic Volumizing Mascara. To be honest, I don't generally opt for volumizing mascaras because they tend to make my lashes clumpy, but this one was really good and it separated and defined my lashes while also giving me volume. Moving on to my face, I'm using the Pro Prep Smoothing Primer. This primer works to fill in any pores on your face so that when you go in with your foundation, you have an even base to work off of. This way you can avoid your makeup looking cakey later. Since I mainly have pores on my T-zone, that's where I'm going to be concentrating this product. I'm also going in with a facial oil to hydrate my skin before I apply any more base products. So this is a product I already owned and I use almost every single time I do my makeup. It's the Pro Concealer in the Orange Corrector shade. I apply this under my eyes and around my mouth, wherever I feel like I need to cancel out dark spots or any discoloration. Next, for foundation, I'm using the Pro Coverage HD Foundation in this shade Warm Beige. I've always heard really great reviews on this product and I'm so glad I finally got the chance to try it. It actually reminds me a lot of the Makeup Forever HD Foundation. I would say it has a natural finish, it's not dewy nor matte. It doesn't really feel heavy or drying on the skin at all. It has buildable coverage, which means you can wear it for an everyday look as well as getting a full coverage beat when you want. I applied 2 layers of it to see how it would build up and I had no issues blending it out. It was long lasting and the color match was actually really perfect. This is definitely a product that I'm going to continue to use. The fact that such an affordable foundation performs at a comparable level to a high-end foundation like the Makeup Forever HD foundation is really shocking and I'm really impressed by this product. For cream bronzer, I'm using the same Pro Concealer but in a darker shade. This shade is called Beautiful Bronze and it's the ideal shade to bring some warmth and dimension to my face. I prefer to apply this product onto a brush first and then press it into the sides of my face as opposed to directly applying the product onto my face first and then trying to blend it out. Because sometimes when I do this, it gives me a little more of a patchy application. I'm going in with a beauty blender right at the end just to pick up any excess product and make sure the blend is really seamless. So for concealer, I'm going to be mixing the shade Creamy Beige with the Yellow Corrector shade. I love using a yellow corrector with a more peachy shade of concealer because I feel like it gives me the perfect shade and brightness, especially under my eyes. Like the foundation, the concealer is also buildable. It has a natural finish and doesn't feel heavy or drying. It blended in really nicely with my beauty blender. Just make sure that you are blending out your concealer using very light patting motions as opposed to swiping. If you swipe with your beauty blender, you might end up removing too much of the concealer and also disrupting the foundation underneath. Before I move on to any powder products, I'm just going to re-wet my beauty blender and just pat all over my face to pick up any excess product. To set down my concealer, I'm using the loose powder in the banana shade. Banana powders are great because they have a further brightening effect than a regular translucent powder. The first time I used this powder, I baked with it and I didn't really love the outcome, so since then I've just been using it to lightly set with a beauty blender, tapping off the excess on the back of my hand. I'm applying the powder to all the areas that I had previously concealed. I personally have always preferred blush palettes over single blushes because they're so much more travel friendly and space efficient, so I was really happy to see that LA Girl has a blush palette that even includes a bronzer. A lot of time bronzer shades and blush palettes are way too light for my skin tone and I never actually end up using them, but the one that they provided in this palette worked out perfectly for my skin. It applied so well and I honestly don't really have any complaints. Since I legitimately have like the roundest face in the world and like 0 cheekbones, I love this technique of carving under my bronzer with translucent powder to create the illusion of a more chiseled cheekbone. This is literally like How to Catfish Boys 101. I also did want to mention that LA Girl has another version of this blush palette. I believe in that one the blush shades are slightly darker as is the bronzers. They also have like a whole other variety of eyeshadow palettes with different color stories than the one that I'm using for this tutorial, so definitely check those out as well. To highlight my face, I'm using the Moonlight highlighting palette. Again, I love that this comes with a variety of shades, so it's really great to travel with. A lot of drugstore highlights I've tried are kind of dry, so honestly I was kind of taken aback by this one because it was so buttery and glowy. Like, I'm obsessed. I applied it in like all the regular areas, and then I'm just going to blend it out with a beauty blender so that it further melts into my skin to give me that, you know, lit from within look. If you're on the hunt for an affordable highlighter, I would completely recommend this palette. When I'm doing a slightly more smoky look like this, I always like to apply some eyeshadow to my lower lash line. It really balances out the whole eye look and completes it. So my last step is lips. I'm going to use a brown lip liner first. I have kind of uneven lips, so I like to first line them and create the shape that I want. I also slightly overline them to make them appear a bit bigger. And then I'm going in with this precision liner in the shade Cafe, which is such a good dupe for the MAC Strip Down Lip Liner. I'm going to go and fill in the rest of my lip with this. Using a darker lip liner and a lighter lip liner inside gives you kind of an ombre effect and also plumps your lips. Wait, my bad. There is one more step. I'm just gonna finish off my eyebrows and outline them again because it did wear off a little. So yeah, now we are done. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Thank you again to Gulaafi for sending me these products to try out. I was overall so happy with everything that I tried, and for the price, you really can't go wrong with these products. So let me know down below what your comments are and any feedback that you have for me, and I will catch you guys on my next video or over on my Instagram page. Don't forget to follow me there. Alright, bye!